In baseball, there are so many stories about trade deadline trades that happen right before the trade deadline and have impacted teams for years to come. The very first one that comes to mind doesn't actually come from the trade itself, but because the trade deadline pushed a team to make a trade that in the end landed one of the best, if not the best, player ever to play the game. July 29th, 2008, Mark Teixeira was traded to the Angels, Casey Kotchman, and minor leaguer Stephen Merrick to the Braves. Teixeira that year, after getting traded to the Angels, hit in 54 games and hit .358 average with 13 home runs. The Angels advanced to the American League Division Series against the Red Sox. Even though the Angels lost that series in that offseason, they lost Teixeira to the Yankees that signed him to an 8-year, $180 million contract. Why does all of this matter? Because back in those days, when you could acquire a player mid-season and still get a draft pick compensation if he departed in free agency the following offseason. Teixeira was a Type A free agent, so the Yankees signed him. They forfeited the 25th overall pick and the 2009 draft to the Angels. And you know what the Angels did with that 25th pick? They picked Mike Trout.
From the place affectionately known as the K, we're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Tonight, the opener of a 3-game series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals. Whit Merrifield looks to keep up the pace in the AL batting title race right after this.
Bases juiced, bottom of the third. Monty trying to make him pay, and he'll do just that. Cutting through the outfield, going for 3 himself, scoring 3 runs. He's safe at third. Royals take a 3-0 lead on Toronto in the bottom of the third. Tyler Anderson into pitch. He is one of the guys we traded for. Walks to strike out, gives up a 3-run blast to Gruchik, so the score 3-3. We head to the bottom of the 5th, where O'Hearn slices it to the left field. That's going to score 2, and he's going to be in to second. So the Royals up 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Now to the bottom of the 8th, Senzel up, looking for something good, gets something low and drives it to the outfield. Right fielder trying to get to it. That's going to score another run for the Royals, and Senzel digging for third. He's safe. So a triple in the bottom of the 8th, going to the bottom of the 9th, or top of the 9th. Royals finish it off. So a huge win there. Go ahead and play the next game. We sim it because it is a pitcher that we sim. We end up losing 12-2. Huge. Wow. 17 hits given up. Bailey gave up 5 earned runs. James gave up 6. And then Hicks gave up 1. So not very good. But now we are heading to exactly what this episode is all about, and that is a trade deadline. So I know some of you think that the trades that I make are completely not true or completely not realistic, but this dynasty is not about being realistic. This dynasty is about trying to turn around the Royals that the game allows us to do. So that being said, we're going to go through our players. We're going to make some trades before the trade deadline because we want to bolster our team completely. We want to make sure that we have depth in case injuries occur later on in the season. We will not be able to make trades, so we want to make sure that we have the depth that we can get to go further on in the season and hopefully make the playoffs. So a few guys that we were kind of looking at is we're really wanting a left fielder. Our starting pitching is in a good spot right now, so we're really wanting kind of left field depth, whether that be a starter to take over Alex Gordon, whether that be some guy that can kind of play, or if that even means that we go deeper into, AAA, bring up a guy from AAA and just trade for some depth at the position. We're also looking at a few positions to give away. We have a lot of center fielders. I'm not sure if we'll end up giving them away. You'll have to find that out. So going to our first trade, I said left fielder, and we're trying to make this trade work. Yamada Our second baseman that we picked up who's killing it right now, we're not wanting to pay for that long contract. So that being said, if we could get anything out of him, even a B guy or something, if we can get anything out of him, that would be great. We're looking at Marcus Wilson. I really like the speed he offers at left field. He's really young, 22 years of age, got that B potential, 63 overall. So we'll go ahead and offer Guzman and Connor Green, a starting pitcher, because we have a bunch of them. They go ahead and accept it. So we have Marcus Wilson at our left field, but we are not done yet. We want to make sure that we have left field cover because Marcus Wilson was a B guy. He's a young guy. He's not going to be playing in the majors, at least this year, possibly even next year. So we want to make sure that we can get a left fielder that can come up and play in the majors if we have an injury to Gordon. Because right now, we are running with 4 outfielders. So if a guy gets injured, we're not going to have any backups in that outfield. And if bad things happen and 2 guys get injured, we need to make sure that we have someone to back it up. So I really like Josh Naylor. I like what he's got as far as his power and contact. Not so much on the speed. We're trying to see what we can get for Yamada. They are seeking a second baseman. We are seeking a left fielder. So I think this trade will work out. We're also seeing what else we can get. Xavier Edwards is a young guy who I think can possibly be another starting shortstop for us. If not, I think he can grow well enough that we could use him as a trade chip later. As Royals, we love speed, so now we're going for speed. Franchi Cordero, 24 years of age, a B overall. We can make this work. We're giving up Yamada. We're giving up 2 of our relievers, which small contracts, but they're really good. So we're going to go ahead and make this trade. We're going to get Naylor at a 66B potential, as you can see here. He has great contact. He has decent power. His speed's not very quick, but guess what? We have a thing called the designated hitter in the American League, and I think that's where he will end up playing for us. So kind of going over what we have now and some roster moves here. First baseman, we got O'Hearn, 79 overall, A potential. So Duenas down in AAA. Nick Prado down in AAA. Evan White having a decent season in AA. Going over to second baseman, we actually don't have that many second basemen, so that might be a position we go out and trade for again. Right now, we have third baseman covered. We got a bunch of people at third base. Gutierrez and Bohm down in AAA doing well. Mondesi, Gordon. Gordon is a guy that can play second base. So can Mondesi. And so can Xavier Edwards if we decide to bring him up. But right now, he's down in AAA. Naylor, we are going to send down to AAA. Marcus Wilson down to AAA. Gore, we're going to go to AA because he's not going to be someone we're going to play with a lot. We want our guys down in AAA like Naylor and Edwards or Marcus to get those at-bats. So we're going to leave them down there. At center, we're actually going to kind of skip around. Franchi Cordero, 24 years of age, B, only a 65, yes. Akil Badu is 4 years younger, but Franchi Cordero, we are going to bring up. We are going to allow him to start. If you guys like this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, feel free to hit that red subscribe button. If you want to, comment down below and let me know what you think this year about the trades, what you honestly think. If you think they're too overpowered, if you think they're kind of boring, let me know that down below in the comments. Till next time, Slacker out.